Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. The Falmouth Commodores on the road to take on the Kettleers on this Thursday evening. Actually, it's Wednesday, but we're off to a great start. I'm Zach Schenk alongside Matt Venezia. Destiny Sanchez will join us in just a minute. Laura Schroeder on the graphics tonight for you on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We're on an interesting week, Matt. You got the holiday yesterday, and it was a good start for the Doors, but just Mother Nature wasn't complying.
Well, at this point in this part of the season, you would have hoped to have known how the Commodores would stand against this Cotuit team now in the third matchup. Well, not really, because of obviously the game getting moved to now Thursday, the off day. A delayed start as we'll begin in the third inning with one out in a 0-1 count tomorrow. But with the way the Commodores started, Zach, I mean, you would have hoped that going into today, the teams would be 1-1, and a massive win it would be for Falmouth that now is going to have to try and build that same hot start because you're 0-0 at this point.
And a chance to get some momentum against one of the best pitchers on the Cape so far this summer in Chris Kettler. He's been outstanding.
Chris Kettler's been good. Comes out of George Washington getting ready for a senior season there. Started 13 games, a sub-4 ERA at 357. This is a guy who went 85 2/3 innings, only walked 25 men to 79 strikeouts. Kettler can throw. There's no doubt about it, but he gets beat with the extra base hit. Had 28 of them over all of those 80-plus innings. Keep an eye on that. This is the Commodores team that's finding their hitting shoes as of late as we continue to harp on. Expect some of those guys in the 3-4-5 to maybe find a gap or two in this ball game.
Kettler's one of those guys that you would say isn't a thrower, he's a pitcher. He'll find his spots, and he's hoping to do that against this lineup for the Doors. John Spikerman, Travis Bazzana, and Kyle DeBarge do up here in the top of the first. McGregor in the 4 spot again. Luke Heyman, new man to the order. He's the DH. He's hitting 5th. Christian Martin hits 6th. Walker Yannick, Gavin Keelan, and Nate Humphreys round things out for Falmouth. Second time to Lowell Park this summer, and we're about to get it underway.
I'm just excited. This is going to be a good group to see for Falmouth. Again, a new guy in the middle of the order, Luke Heyman out of Florida.
First pitch swinging. Spikerman sends one out to deep right center field. Going back on the run. Reaching to make the catch is Carter Matheson. And we've already got some action here. One pitch into this ball game. A few minutes early at 4:58, but the Doors bats weren't waiting until 5 to come out swinging.
I was just going to say, we started 2 minutes early, and we already got a moment there to get out of your seats. Spikerman looked good in batting practice, Zach, and he jumped on that first pitch from Kettler and nearly, I mean, it's straightaway centers 397. Took that one probably about 390.
He gave it a ride, that's for sure. Travis Bazzana steps in, takes the first pitch breaking ball, high and outside. Start off his at bat, the Oregon State Beaver digging in from that left side. Righty Kettler in the windup. 1-0, fastball up. And Bazzana quickly in a hitter's count, it's 2-0.
Yeah, Bazzana's been coming alive recently as we've been talking about. His numbers from Oregon State starting to translate here for the Commodores.
2-0. It's a back foot breaking ball. He lays off. Way ahead in the count now is Bazzana. We'll see if he's got the green light in this spot. Kettleers with a shift, a couple of steps off the bag at that third base side. Fastball catches the zone on the 3-0. Keeps Kettler in the count, but playing well off the bag at third is Galaney. Harrison a few steps towards the middle at short. Bazzana swinging 3-1, sliced it foul. Kettler's all the way back in the count. It's 3-2.
Yeah, got a couple fastballs there. That one a little bit elevated, and Bazzana just laid on. You saw his reaction there walking out of the batter's box, Zach. He's going to have to fight here because Kettler's right back in this count.
The righty works first base side from the windup. The 3-2, breaking ball, chopped on the ground, first base side. Gonna be a tough play. Bazzana sliding for it, and he's just out. As Mathis touched the bag, a dive to that outside corner from Bazzana almost got in there and made that a really close play, man.
Yeah, partner, a little unconventional. It's a chopper right up the line. It's a tough play for Mathis to come in, and despite the swim dive move by Bazzana, he's retired on the 3 unassisted. Too quickly gone here for Falmouth.
Now Kyle DeBarge digs back in. He singled to start yesterday's game. It was an RBI single and came around to score. That game's still not an official game yet, so it only kind of counts to this point, but takes the first pitch strike on a slider from Kettler.
Well, definitely not the outcome that you would have liked to get, as we talked about. Mother Nature coming in and making us have to resume a little late.
Same pitch, same spot, same result on the 0-1. And Kettler now ahead 0-2 after falling behind. Bazzana 3-0, worked back out the out there. Now ahead 0-2 on DeBarge. Goes right back to the breaking ball, and DeBarge pops it up on the infield. Petre calls off Harrison to make the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Kaler to start things off for Cotuit. Rio Britton to the mound to make his first Falmouth start on the other side of the break from Lowell Park. Rio Britton gets the nod here on this Wednesday afternoon in Cotuit. He'll take on a tough lineup for the Kettleers, but before we get to that, I'm going to send it down to Destiny Sanchez for more on Mr. Britton.
Thanks, Zach. Rio Britton from NC State, playing for the Commodores this summer. He transferred to NC State from Oregon. He held opponents under 200 batting average in both seasons at Oregon. He has a 4 ERA on the season for the Doors and is looking to bounce back from his last appearance against Bourne. It was a close game the whole time. A few errors and a few hits off of Britton allowed the Braves to come off with the win, so Britton's looking to redeem himself at his start tonight against Cotuit.
Thank you, Destiny. This is just the fourth start between the 3 seasons of college baseball for Britton. He had 22 appearances this year for NC State and just 1 start for the Wolfpack. Now trying to get things going against a tough order in Cotuit. This has been the best team by record on the Cape this summer, Matt, and a big part of that has been their success at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, second in the league. Or check that. I apologize. First in slugging, second in home runs. This team finds gaps. They find extra bases pretty much all throughout the lineup, and a lot of it starts in the leadoff spot here with Kalai Harrison.
Fellow member of the Wolfpack at NC State, Harrison digs in to take on his collegiate teammate and start off the bottom of the first. Southpaw Britton works from the windup. Harrison squares to bunt, pulls back on a called strike. As Britton starts him off with a fastball, it's 0-1.
Well, this is the kind of matchup you look forward to in summer ball. Teammates at school, you get the opportunity to go against 2 guys that know each other very, very well.
0-1 stays up. Evens up the count to Kalai Harrison. Leads the Kettleers in batting average, 16 for 48 on the season. It's good for a 333 average. 1-1. That sharp slider catches the zone for a called strike, and it's 1-2.
You'll see a lot of that from this big lefty, and Rio Britton likes that slider, especially to these lefties.
The 1-2 is another breaking ball. It's pulled foul down the first base line, and Kalai Harrison stays alive.
And Zach, we saw Rio in the Bourne game. Got maybe not his best stuff compared to what we've seen from him up to this point. Pitched in that 9th inning. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs in that one.
1-2 is skied to center. Spikerman running in to make the play for out number 1.
That one sounding a little bit light there. Obviously got underneath it. John a couple of steps in. Really good job working around and staying ahead there by Rio Britton. Dropping in a lot of those sliders to those lefties. It's a tough pitch to stay with, especially when Rio can crank up that fastball on you in a heartbeat. And a good first down picked up by Falmouth defensively.
Had the lefty to start, and Harrison 3 straight righties now to follow. Ryan Galaney takes the cut on the first pitch and comes up empty. It's Galaney hitting second, then Cole Mathis and Caleb Lomavita to follow him. Carter Matheson, Cannon Peebles, and Emilian Petre. The middle part of that order with James McCoy and T.O. Banks rounding things out for Mike Roberts. Fastball catches the zone from Britton, and it's quickly 0-2. It's the big Wofford Terrier in the box, and Ryan Galaney.
A couple of fastballs there using the lower part of the zone first, and that one middle. I think Galaney was not expecting that. You can go to any pitch here if you're Britton.
0-2, another heater. Just missed that one up and out. And it's a 1-2 count. Galaney homered the last time these two teams met here at Lowell Park. It was a explosion of offense from the Cotuit side. 12 runs on 18 hits. 1-2, swing and a miss on the slider. And Rio Britton starting well. 2 up, 2 down. That one by way of the strikeout.
Yeah, nice job there to drop the breaking ball. First one we've seen in this at-bat. You know, if guys are only throwing, for example, a Garrett Coe with a fastball and a changeup, that's about it. It's easy to stay back on some of those pitches and expect a changeup. Well, if you got a fastball in the 90s and then the breaking ball in the mid-70s, it's tough to stay up there and stay patient expecting one or the other.
Cole Mathis comes up empty, swinging on the first pitch. Falls behind again. 0-1 swing, and Mathis gave that one a ride, and he didn't miss it. Welcome back to Cotuit with another solo shot, and it's 1-0 Kettleers.
Well, you said it best, partner. You didn't miss that. Just a couple of looks by Bazana, and the bullpen for Cotuit got a souvenir. Galaney just has the number of the Commodores. I mean, that one middle, settled right over the middle of the plate, and with his big right-handed swing, the Terrier from Wofford did not miss that one, partner. It's a solo shot here.
Really good piece of hitting there. Able to find the barrel and get it done. And now with 2 away, Britton trying to settle himself down.
Yeah, I mean, he was pounding the zone with the fastball. I think you get back to that, just find a strike.
Misses outside on the slider to Caleb Lomavita. He had a solo shot in that last meeting here in Cotuit. Comes up empty on that fastball. We talked about it early in that last game between these two that went full. Solo shots aren't going to kill you, but if you give up enough of them, they can, and that's what we saw last time. Ground ball to short from Lomavita. Gavin Keelan with a high throw. McGregor gets back down to the ground in time to get Lomavita. He jumped up, but landed on the bag just ahead of a sprinting Lomavita. And the Doors get out of the inning, but Cole Mathis plays long ball to get Cotuit on the board. It's 1-0 Kettleers. Head to the second. An early deficit for Falmouth on the road. It's 1-0 Cotuit after the Cole Mathis solo shot in the bottom of the first. So the middle of the order will try to get it back. Tyler McGregor, Luke Heyman, and Christian Martin to face Chris Kaler. Big lefty in McGregor, standing in with that open stance. The righty Kaler into the motion and misses outside with that changeup. It's 1-0. Matt Kaler's last couple of outings here for Cotuit have just been outstanding.
I mean, he's been dialed in. Pretty identical matchups over his last 2.
McGregor swinging on the 1-0, sends it down the first base line where Mathis is waiting to take it himself for out number 1.
Yeah, McGregor a little bit out in front of that one. A pretty routine play over there at first. But to go back to Chris Kaler, a couple of matchups on the road at McKeon Park, going 5 innings in both of them. A hit aside in both of those games, Zach. Struck out 4 in the most recent one on June 29th, and then 5 in June 22nd's matchup. He's got the stuff. There's no doubt about it. And we've seen a couple of ground ball outs that have worked to his favor.
Starts off Heyman with a big breaking ball that stays inside. First at bat in the Commodore career of Luke Heyman. Freshman from Florida. Had that long postseason run all the way to the College World Series Finals. As Heyman takes a fastball, it's a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Luke went 5 for 23 over the course of the College World Series in Omaha.
Swings through a slider there, and it's 1-2.
And Zach, I'm interested to see the adjustment period that a lot of these new guys have had. For a guy who was playing baseball at a very high level literally like 5 days ago, now he steps right in. Let's see what he's got.
1-2 slider misses outside. Works himself back even in the count. He's a guy that stands tall in that right-handed batter's box. Does get a slight bend to the knee. Kaler goes into the motion, the 2-2. Fastball popped over our heads, foul out of play. Heyman stays alive.
Like some guys, what I was trying to say is, they'll go home, be with the family, rest a little bit. Don't think that really happened for Heyman. He got here today, and he's in the lineup ready to play.
The break even is a breaking ball pulled foul down that third base line. And another 2-2 coming for Heyman, and this is exactly what you want from a guy that is just getting into the lineup for the first time. You work a good at bat, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Well, we've seen a lot of guys look kind of uncomfortable, almost just like getting pitches blown by them, not knowing what the pitcher's going to throw. He stayed with that breaking ball and was just, a little bit in front of it, chopped it foul. This has been a good at-bat from Heyman.
Kaler kicks and deals another 2-2. Breaking ball sent back to the screen and continues to stay alive. He's earned an 8th pitch of this at-bat.
I mean, he's seeing all the different pitches. He's fighting, and maybe he can just get on one here after seeing a lot of the different options Kaler has.
Another 2-2. Fastball tipped into the glove of Loma Vida. And Kaler wins the battle. 5 up, 5 down for the Cotuit starter. And now Christian Martin will dig in.
I mean, I take that at bat 10 out of 10 times. Just blew the fastball by him, battling a couple breaking balls. Kaler doing a good job keeping him in the zone, making him work. But that time it's the right-hander who wins the battle.
Kaler works quickly, misses low. First pitch change up to Christian Martin. Martin moving up in the order to the 6th spot today. Virginia Tech Hokie taking on Mr. Kaler. Comes up empty on that fastball at the letters. It's 1-1 count.
Martin will enter tomorrow's game 0 for 1 when we resume there in the third. Had a pop out to left.
1-1. Chop back to the mound. Kaler with an overhand throw to first. He ran over like he was going to flip it, decided to make the throw, and retires Christian Martin for out number 3. 6 up, 6 down for Kaler. Cotuit bats to the plate when we come back on the Commodores Radio Network. Welcome back to Lowell Park, a 1-0 game as we enter the bottom of the second. But before we get to the action from the doors in the Kettleers, Destiny Sanchez has a message from Cape Cod Healthcare.
Thanks, Zach. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League and shares a reminder that blood donated to the Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod. Save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare, caring, commitment, community.
Thank you, Destiny. It was a good start to the outing for Rio Breton. Through those first 2 batters, he looked completely in control, and then Cole Mathis got himself a fastball to hit and sent it into the Kettleers bullpen. Out in left, Loma Vida was retired after that, though, so 5, 6, 7 coming up for Cotuit in a 1-0 game. First pitch is that slider to Carter Matheson. Misses outside. It's 1-0. Lefty switch hitter in 5, 6, 7, 8 for Cotuit. Fastball, the inner third for a called strike to even up the count against Matheson.
Delayed call there by J.C. Fernandez, but that fastball in the inner half has looked good against left-handers so far for Rio.
Bounces in a breaking ball. Matheson lays off it, a 2-1 count. Indiana Hoosier at the dish. 3-10 start to the summer for the Kettleers.
Yeah, his last official game had himself an RBI double in the win against YD. That's a big win. That's mano-a-mano East and West champs right now going head-to-head.
Fastball misses up, and it's 3-1. Rio Britton falling behind, something he did not do in that first inning at all. He's thrown just 6 balls to this point in the game, 3 of them in this at-bat. 3-1 is a slider that's popped up on the infield. DeBarge in foul territory makes the play. Had to hop over the third base bag on his little trot over there, but gets to it in time. And while Britton fell behind in the count, he's able to work his way through it.
Well, it goes with old reliable. You know, a lot of left-handed pitchers go to that pitch against lefties when they may need a strike. Maybe they get them to chase it, and it does the job there. Obviously, Matheson getting underneath it, and DeBarge, when you're behind in the count, if you throw a strike, maybe you can get out there in the field, and that's what happened there.
First pitch swinging. Cannon Peebles comes up empty. It's 0-1. A couple of former teammates in Britton and Peebles. Peebles headed out of NC State to Tennessee for next season, but it's a guy that was a catcher for Britton this season with the Wolfpack. And the pitcher quickly ahead 0-2 after firing in another fastball.
I mean, he knows better than anyone what his stuff looks like, and that's obviously benefit to the hitter. But Rio knows what his own teammate likes and could use that to help him as well.
0-2, the big breaking ball, just missed outside, tried to go to the back door, and Britton smiling a little bit after that one. He thought he caught that corner, but J.C. Fernandez disagrees, and a 1-2 now awaits Peebles. Britton delivers. Catches the corner that time. Fastball on the outside edge, and down goes Peebles looking. Second punch out for Rio Britton.
So Rio first went with the breaking ball in the exact same spot, didn't get the call. I think J.C. Fernandez is saying, okay, if that ball is anywhere closer, right in that spot, the call is going to go to the pitcher, and he goes with the fastball, same spot, and that's exactly what the call was. Nice picture by Rio.
Here is Emilian Pitre. Had an outstanding freshman year at Kentucky and takes up on a first pitch heater. It's 1-0. Pitre was 0 for 5 in the first meeting between these two teams. Had a home run robbed in the 9th. He was the only man in that Cotuit order without a hit on that night back on June 23rd. Takes fastball outside there, and it's 2-0. Infield deep across the diamond.
Talk about Pitre's number, 71 hits as a Wildcat there in the SEC. Drove in 51 runs as well.
Really good year for Kentucky out in Lexington. Fastball misses outside again. It's 3-0 to Pitre. The Wildcats hosting a regional this year. Britton trying to battle all the way back. The 3-0. Fastball inner third. Gets himself back in the count. It's 3-1.
We've seen that a couple times now, behind in the count like he was against Matheson earlier in this inning. Goes with the fastball inside third.
3-1's another fastball. Pitre slices it foul, and it's quickly full 3-2. The Doors in their road black jerseys with the gray pants and the red lettering Falmouth across the chest. Cotuit, home whites with the pinstripes. The maroon numbers and letters. Well, now Cotuit on the chest. These two historic franchises going at it. The payoff pitch. Big breaking ball, strike 3 called. Britton with a couple of backwards Ks to work a 1-2-3 bottom of the second. Pitchers duel brewing early. 1-0 Kettleers in front. Head to the third from Cotuit. 7, 8, 9 in the doors order up to face Chris Kaler, who has cruised through the first 2 innings. Had some trouble on the first pitch. John Spikerman sent one to the wall out in center, but after that, it's been smooth sailing. A couple of ground outs, a pop out, and a strikeout to work his way through the first 6 in the Falmouth order. Now facing Walker Yannick, Gavin Keelan, and Nate Humphreys, trying to get that run back from that first inning home run from the Kettleers. Yannick steps in. Sam Houston, Bearcat, digging in from the right side, takes first pitch fastball for a called strike. Catches the outside corner at the knees to start him off.
I think we're starting to see a little bit of some of those numbers from Sam Houston State out of Yannick, regardless of where he is in the order.
A 1 fastball misses out, and it's 1-1. Kaler works from that first base side in the stretch. He's got that back foot on the mound and kind of leans in to get the sign and starts facing home plate, then goes into his windup. Breaking ball tipped into the glove on the 1-1, and Kaler's back ahead in the count, another early 2-strike count.
It's because of his feel for that slider. It looks really good right now. You saw the battle that really Heyman's been the only guy to stay with it to this point. Fastball was blown by him for strike 3. We'll see what he goes to here.
1-2 is the breaking ball. It's outside. Yannick lays off it, another 2-2 count.
That one, though, looks more like a curveball coming over the top versus maybe something that slides, in this case, east-west, like the slider we saw the previous pitch.
The 2-2 is hit hard out to center. Back on it is Matheson, and he'll have room to make the catch. Another hard hit, long fly ball to center, but it finds a glove, and there's one away.
Yannick just getting underneath that one. He stuck with the breaking ball. He predicted it right. When you're locked in on some of those pitches, you take it to straight away or to the opposite side. And he just missed that one. Just a couple of steps there for it to be made by Matheson.
That's not the part of the park you want to hit the ball to here. Keelan hits one to first, and Mathis has been a ball magnet over there. He'll take it himself. That's the third 3 unassisted already of this ball game. And 2 quick outs once again for Kaler, who's 8 up, 8 down.
Well, that was obviously intentional, right? Kaler knows where the ball needs to go to get those outs relatively quickly. And not to mention, a couple of them have been relatively early in the count. That's the second one on a 2-pitch or less at bat.
Called strike to start off Humphreys. That off-speed catches the outside edge from Kaler. Working from the wind. Same pitch, same spot, same result. For Kaler, it's 0-2. Humphreys from the left side out of Dallas Baptist. It's been starting to heat up as of late. Couple of 2-hit games in his last 2 starts. Takes a fastball high. Keep this at back on. It's 1-2. Kettleers shifting Humphreys to pull. 1-2 out again. It's 2-2. It's interesting to see them playing him to pull and then see Kaler pitch him outside, just begging him to go the other way.
Yeah, but I think that was just a let me show you it. You know, you'd seen a couple of fastballs in the at-bat. Not a threat at all.
2-2 breaking ball. He does pull this one, but yanks it foul into the trees. This ballpark is surrounded by pretty much a forest on all sides.
Well, that ball path looks like my golf game sometimes. Just a heavy hook into the trees.
Another 2-2. Humphreys lays off it. And it's 3-2. Just the one pitch inside. Everything else has been outer third of the plate or missing outside. As Humphreys has now worked the count full. The wind and the payoff pitch from Kaler. Sliced foul out of play. So he's got the hook, Matt. Now he's got the slice. So he's evening out your golf game there.
They tell you to have a one-way miss, and sometimes I just don't have that, and it's real frustrating. But hey, in baseball, you take either. You just have to find a way to stay alive and work for another chance.
3-2 is sliced into left field, a base hit. And Humphreys wins the battle. Picks up the first Falmouth hit of the ball game. And the first base runner as the lineup card flips over for John Spikerman.
Hit number 7 is honestly maybe the most impressive I've seen from Nate Humphreys to this point. Yes, we saw the towering home run, and we see that big swing sometimes. But when you battle against a guy who's got 3 or more pitches, it's tough when these guys are throwing low to mid-90s and they can slow it down on you by 20 miles an hour. Humphreys battling, as you mentioned, the hook, the slice, whatever it may be, but that time takes it the other way. Like you said, they're working him outside, begging him to go that way. That's where he goes.
Spikerman squares the bunt, pulls back. It's a called strike on the breaking ball. It's 0-1. Humphries does have pretty good speed over at first. He's got a good lead off the bag with Mathis holding him on.
Not to mention he swiped 19 bags at DBU this year. He knows a thing or two about doing that.
Kaler comes set at the belt with a long hold, and now will throw over to Humphries, who's back in without a tag. Galaney playing in on the edge of the grass over at third. Rest of the infield playing pretty much straight up. Harrison a couple of steps towards second base with the switch hitter and Spikerman up from that left side. Humphries takes off. It's a fastball low. Throw from Lomavita is high, and Humphries slides in ahead of the tag. And a man in scoring position for the Doors, and a 1-1 count.
Against the best pitching staff on the Cape, you have to put the game in motion when you get the chance. The Commodores wasting little time. Down 1-0 after that solo shot, trying to take advantage of the team's first hit and base runner of this ball game. Because now you're going to need John to come through, but a base hit can certainly tie this game up.
1-1 breaking ball outside, and it's 2-1. Doors will have to do something that teams haven't done against Chris Kaler in a while to be able to get that run in, and that is get 2 hits against him. Both of his last 2 starts, as we mentioned, just 1 hit allowed in each. 2-1 leaks outside. Spikerman in control in this at-bat. It's 3-1.
And there's been a handful of really good at-bats worked out. You see the Bazana at-bat, the Heyman one, all resulted in outs. And the Humphries at-bat was looking like that too, but if you stay with it and see enough of the pitches, eventually you'll put one in play.
Look back to second, the 3-1. Spikerman squares, pulls back on yet another strike. And the count runs full 3-2.
Well, we've seen him kind of mix it up. Go to the fastball for a swinging strikeout in a full count spot. You have a slider and a curveball. It's kind of whatever you feel can get the best result for a strike. You could go to any of those 3 right here.
The 3-2. Fastball high and outside. Spikerman works the walk. And there's 2 aboard with 2 away for the Doors.
Well, that's that 2-out magic. Again, 3 really good at-bats. Now potentially going to be worked, but you have the 2 in a row with 2 outs. Again, Humphries, now Spikerman working the full count walk. You get Bazana, who saw him really, really well last time up.
Bazana got ahead in the count 3-0 before eventually grounding out on a 3-2 pitch. And now he'll start ahead in the count again as the breaking ball misses inside to Bazana. Trying to come through with a big hit and even up this ball game here in the top of the third. It's Humphries at second, Spikerman at first. 1-0. Fastball outside edge for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Bazana chatting it up with Caleb Lomavita, a couple of Pac-12 guys there with the Oregon State Beaver and the Cal Bear.
They're out there with me, the Pac-12, way over there in the West.
Bazana hits one on the ground right side. Snagged at second by Petre. They're going to send the runner. The throw to the plate is in time. Brett Becker sent Humphries around. Petre kept it on the infield and delivered a strike to get Humphries at the plate. The Doors find their way with a couple of hits, but can't bring any across in the top of the third. Cotuit still in front, 1-0 on the Commodores Radio Network. The Doors with a 2-out rally in that top of the third, but unable to come across with a run as Emilian Petre threw out Nate Humphreys trying to score from second on a ground ball that Petre was able to cut off from going into right field. Aggressiveness from the Doors and a decision that don't necessarily mind, Matt, but just didn't work out that time. And a big first pitch swinging to start off this at bat from James McCoy.
Because the way I look at it, Zach, is that ball probably 90% of the time gets through past a great play by Petre to keep that on the infield. And if that one goes in the outfield, Humphrey scoring,
Without
standing,
a doubt.
without
Yes.
a doubt. So it's what it comes down to. Sure, you don't want to make the last out at the plate. That's just a tremendous play to keep that on the infield, which unfortunately cost Falmouth a run.
1-1 fastball was popped out of play. The 0-1 was a breaking ball that missed. So now it's 1-2. As Rio Britton takes on James McCoy, T.O. Banks, and Kalai Harrison here in the bottom of the third inning.
Plus, I mean, you have speed. You have wheels. Humphreys is rounding hard. There's 2 outs. He's trying to get there.
Big Bender just misses. Yannick heard the ball, thought he heard strike 3. He threw it down to first. They'll get that extra relay in, send it back to the mound, and it's 2-2. Britton with a couple of shakes and goes into the wind. The 2-2 pitch is the breaking ball again. This one stays up, and it's 3-2.
And Zach, just one more time to go back to that. I don't know. I didn't quite see if Humphreys blew through the stop sign on that. I don't know if he got the call.
Yeah, I don't know. 3-2 fastball pulled foul.
I think it's just one of those heat of the moment kind of plays. If Humphreys is charging third hard and he's not looking behind him, he's running to third to see if that gets through or not. I think it's just instinctual to say, hey, I think I've got a chance.
Another 3-2. Breaking ball misses outside, ball 4. A leadoff walk to start the third for Cotuit. It also took a perfect throw from Petre.
Sure.
Stopping his momentum and making the throw, and it worked out to retire this side, but now we're on to the bottom of the third, and the leadoff base runner for Cotuit is James McCoy. T.O. Banks stepping in, the Tulane green wave in the box.
I've said my last on that play. I'm done. I rest my case.
Fastball misses. It's 1-0. Britton working into this third inning. Has been a reliever exclusively to this point this summer. We'll see how far the Doors have him ride. No action in the bullpen just yet. 1-0 fastball, check swing. And Rudy Fernbach goes up with the right hand.
Heard a loud, almost awe from the fans for Cotuit. I mean, that from here looked pretty good for a swing. I don't think that was surprising news.
1-1 goes right back to the high fastball. Banks with a full swing this time and fouls it back.
I mean, right there, you show your hand if you're T.O. Banks. I mean, you really like that high fastball, could hold it back. Rio says, okay, I see that. Let's show it to you again, maybe even a little bit higher. Gets a result.
Gives a look over to McCoy at first, who's dancing but being held on by McGregor. 1-2, pulls the string and punches out Banks. He swings through that breaking ball for out number 1.
To show him a different look and keep yourself rolling. I mean, that's the first time through 9 and 4 punch outs. Aside from the solo shot, I mean, Rio's looked really, really good to this point. That's the only hit through the first 9 and no other base runners aside from the walk.
Now Kalai Harrison digs in. He flew out to John Spikerman in center in his first at bat. Now gets a second crack at his collegiate teammate. First pitch fastball well high, and a nice job to keep that one from getting to the backstop in Walker Yannick. A deep backstop here at Lowell Park and a chain link fence. It can take hops in any direction. 2-step lead over at first for McCoy. Fastball fouled back out of play. Harrison was late on it, but the quick hands to get a piece of it. It's 1-1.
Can also see some crazy plays out by the chain link. Remember, Tab Tracy last time we were here made 2 phenomenal plays out there in right for Falmouth, despite the heavy deficit loss.
Those were spectacular. One robbed Emilian Petre. Now Petre doing the robbing today in that last inning. Breaking ball sent foul down that third base line, and Rio Britton back ahead in the count. 1-2. This is the Rio Britton we've seen throughout the majority of this start to this point, getting ahead in counts and being in control.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked what I've seen from Rio. We saw him make a couple other relief appearances so far this season. Just got hit around a little bit, but that's okay. That happens. I mean, this is some of the best talent nationally at the collegiate level.
Fly ball out to center once again. Spikerman moving over to his left to run that one down. And a soft out number 2.
Same result, pretty much. I mean, the first one was a little bit louder, but John Spikerman being put to good use out there by Kalai Harrison, and that's okay. Rio will take it. He offers the breaking ball there, got him under it. That's the purpose of that pitch. And you get the result. You pick up a second out. You're trying to strand that walk.
Here comes Ryan Galaney. Was a strikeout victim back in the first. You don't want to see Cole Mathis with runners on base, not after that last AB. First pitch swinging on the ground to short. Keelan will take it himself to second base. The unassisted fielder's choice retires the side. Rio Britton smooth through 3. Just the one hit allowed, but it was a long ball, so it's 1-0 Cotuit headed to the 4th. It's 1-0 through a quick 3 innings here at Lowell Park, but that's not the lone game on the Cape today. Destiny Sanchez has the rest of your scores from around the Cape.
Thanks, Zach. The Hyannis Hopperhawks lead the YD Red Sox 1-0 in the bottom of the third. The Wareham Gatemen and the Bourne Braves are in pregame right now. The Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners will play at 6 o'clock, and the Orleans Firebirds and the Chatham Anglers will play at 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Destiny. Kyle DeBarge steps up to lead off this inning for the Doors, trying to keep some momentum in working these at-bats against Kettleers that they had with 2 away in the last inning. And DeBarge starts out in front as he takes a fastball outside. Going back to it is Kettleers, and he catches the zone this time. It's 1-1. DeBarge had a healthy diet of sliders his last AB. Popped out on one to end the top of the first. There gets the slider, and it catches the zone for a called strike. Another 1-2 count to DeBarge.
Yeah, expect a lot of sliders and off-speed pitches to your team's 3-hole hitter. They've done their scouting report.
1-2 is a fastball that's up above the letters of DeBarge. 2-2. Louisiana Raging Cajun. Been a mainstay at third base for this Falmouth team, standing tall from that right side. Swings the bat over the right shoulder. 2-2. Slider popped out of play. DeBarge stays alive.
Yeah, in the previous pitch, tried to work him backwards, trying to sneak a high fastball by DeBarge. Way to battle. He might earn himself one of those sliders that could get the outside edge.
Kettleers goes into the wind. The 2-2 is a breaking ball that misses outside. And it's full. 3-2 count to DeBarge.
Looked like it was that slider outside there, Zach, and way to stay alive for DeBarge. Good take.
3-2 fastball. Sent out of play. And another good battle. The second AB for the Doors that has seen at least 8 pitches. The first one went the way of Kettleers. DeBarge trying to win this one. The payoff pitch. Fastball on the ground right side. Petre has a little easier time with this one and gets DeBarge by a step for out number 1.
I mean, all these battles that go 6, 7, 8 pitches, regardless of the outcome, are certainly in benefit of the hitter. Why? Well, because you're seeing a lot of the repertoire. You're taking mental notes, and you're you've learned more going into your next at bat, whatever the outcome is. You can take that with you moving forward throughout the rest of the game.
First pitch to McGregor. Off speed that misses low. It's 1-0. That menacing presence from the left side in Tyler McGregor. He's been outstanding. 454 average to this point on the summer. And gets himself ahead in the count 2-0.
Yeah, yesterday was his first stint at taking on these Cotuit Kettleers. Got cut short. He was not here. It was Charlie Condon for the Commodores back in the last time these two faced off.
2-0 on the ground. Once again to first. This time, a flip is needed. Kaler will cover the bag. Mathis deciding to share the wealth over there. But the same result. It's 2 away.
I guess a slow dribbler there. Good benefit work there by Kaler winning that at bat. And now again, you see one of those bats that we're pretty excited for being here in his debut. And Luke Heyman worked a really, really good at bat despite the strikeout last time up.
He'll dig back in from the right side. First pitch is the breaking ball. It's that slider that misses below the knees to Luke Heyman. Taylor works very quickly. Right back to the rubber, right back in the motion. 1-0. Goes back to it. This time catches the inner third, going to the front door on Heyman. Even up the count. Infield deep across the diamond with nobody on and 2 away. 1-0 Cotuit in front. Big cut at that fastball from Heyman, and it's 1-2.
That was the same pitch he got blown away with, just an upstairs fastball.
See if Kaler goes back to it. The 1-2. It's a breaking ball, gets a swing and a miss. Chris Kaler with a bounce back 1-2-3, top of the fourth. Still 1-0 from Lowell Park. You are listening to Falmouth Commodores Baseball. Back to it from Cotuit. It's 1-0 Kettleers. The solo home run in the first inning by Cole Mathis. Got the scoring going. That's all the offense we've had to this point, and is the lone hit for Cotuit. Well, he's back to the box to lead off this top of the fourth against Rio Britton. Was an 0-1 fastball that Mathis got in that first at bat, and he'll now see an 0-1 pitch as Britton fires one in to start off this at bat. Big lefty. Couple of shakes on the mound before going into the windup. Third base side, that high leg kick. Bounces in the 0-1 pitch. Can't give up an 0-1 home run if you throw it in the dirt.
Well, he shook off Yannick. Had to think that was another breaking ball coming, maybe in a different spot, but he wanted to try to get one quickly by him there for the 0-2.
Big bender there that stays inside. It's 2-1. Mathis bends those knees from the right side. A two-way guy at a college at Charleston. Had real good numbers for the Cougars this season. 2-1 fastball comes up empty. Threw that one low in the zone, dropping away from the bat of Mathis, and it's 2-2. Britton delivers. Soft chopper right side. Going to be a tough play for Martin charging. Quick throw. Does get Mathis in time for out number one.
Real good work there by Martin. I think he was expecting the baseball to maybe kick up a little bit to him there on the hop. Last second adjustment for him to really get down low and a crouch to field that baseball. And a real good sidearm throw. Had to put on the velo there in time to McGregor. Mathis, I mean, you talked about a two-way guy, but he's got some speed there. He was beating it down the baseline there. Good result for Falmouth.
Loma Vita takes the first pitch. Curveball high as Britton trying to get some feel on that breaking ball. The last two have not been close. Goes into the motion, the 1-0. Called strike, fastball at the knees. Does a nice job to get himself right back into that count with the fastball.
It's been his best pitch.
The 1-1. It's another fastball. Loma Vita fouls it back. It's quickly a 1-2 count. 1-0 Cotuit in front, bottom of the fourth inning from Lowell Park. West Division matchup between the Doors and the Kettleers. Beautiful evening for baseball in Cotuit. Blue skies and 79 degrees. 1-2, breaking ball chopped to third. DeBarge with a strong throw across the diamond does get Loma Vita, who is hustling down that line, but able to retire him. 2 ground balls and 2 quick outs in the bottom of the fourth for Rio Britton.
Loma Vita only swiped 9 bags this year, but he certainly was putting on the speed there to get down the baseline. I mean, not the hardest chop thing in the world there in that 1-2 count. Hard big throw there by DeBarge, just barely in time. Couple of ground ball outs here for Rio Britton.
Here comes Carter Matheson, who takes high and tight. Start off this at bat, a 1-0 count, lefty-lefty matchup. As the Indiana Hoosier digs in, 3-11 this summer with the Hoosiers. Fouled back the 1-0 fastball.
Well, there in that previous first pitch, it was that breaking ball left on left. That one nearly got him. Didn't see that the first time through the order from Britton. You're right. He just doesn't have a feel for that pitch right now.
This time fires it in for a called strike. Like he cut that fastball on 86, and it's 1-2. Working quickly and gets the punch out. Bends the breaking ball on that outside edge, and Rio Britton has worked a smooth 4 innings, but the solo shot still reigns supreme. It's 1-0. Kettleers in front, headed to the 5th. There's a new pitcher to the mound for Cotuit, but before we give you all of his info, we're going to step down to Destiny Sanchez, who has a message about the Cape League Hall of Fame event.
Thanks, Zach. The Cape Cod Baseball League is hosting a hot stove event on July 12th to benefit the Bring Back the Hall campaign. The panel will feature Cape League Hall of Famers Peter Gammons and Ron Darling, as well as former Red Sox pitcher Jim Lomborg. The event will be held at the Moose Lodge in South Yarmouth with doors opening at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are extremely limited with under 100 remaining. Purchase yours today at capecodbaseballleague.org.
Thank you, Destiny. The new arm is Rafe Schlesinger out of the University of Miami, who put up good numbers to this point in the season for Cotuit. A 1.42 ERA in just under 13 innings pitched, and has been solid like the majority of this pitching staff. That's why they're the top team in the league, Matt.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, this is a guy who has experience, obviously, out of Miami, a 3.38 ERA this year at school. Only 10 and 2/3 innings pitched, though, so very, very small sample size. But nonetheless, I mean, again, another quality arm for a staff that has a ton of that.
Big, tall lefty delivers the first pitch to Christian Martin, and it's chopped foul. 0-1 count for the Virginia Tech Hokie, an ACC matchup between these two. Martin 0 for 1 to this point. He grounded out to Chris Kaler, whose outing is done. Another scoreless appearance for Kaler. Front door breaking ball catches the zone. That slider to start. Martin with that breaking ball. That looked like a slingshot little frisbee type action there. 0-2 fastball fouled back. Going to that heater in the low 90s, and that breaking ball at 80 is tough for Martin.
Well, that certainly works, and we were just talking with Cishek about A.J. Causey's arm slot. I mean, that certainly will work, 92, and then slowing it down at 80 right there.
The slider slides a little too far outside. It's 1-2.
Zach, to go to Chris Kaler, we talked about his strikeout totals, 4 and 5 over the last 2 outings, only 2 today against the Commodores through those 4 innings.
1-2, swing and a miss. Martin punches out on the slider, and Schlesinger enters with a quick strikeout.
Yeah, aside from that pitch off the plate, I mean, he certainly had Martin kind of all over the place. A little late on a foul ball, straight back. The first one chopped way out in front, and then that one just way ahead. Pretty good at bat for Schlesinger to begin his outing.
Holbrook, New York native. Went a long way down south to play his college ball. Now back closer to home in New England. Fastball misses outside. It's 1-0. To Walker Yannick. Takes out again. It's 2-0. Got to think that Schlesinger with that arm slot is going to be much better against left-handed hitters than right-handed hitters.
Well, the baseball just works right into the barrel swing path.
2-0 swinging on a fastball, and Yannick just a little late on it, sends it foul out of play down that right field line. It's 2-1.
I've always wondered how some of these submarine guys learn that motion. The one day they decide maybe to try that out. I mean, you don't naturally pick up a baseball and throw it that way out in the backyard.
Sometimes you do, though. I was talking with A.J. Causey and about Steve Cishek, and Steve said that was his natural arm slot. Was just when he picked up a ball, he threw it that way and is stuck with it. That slider catches that outside corner going to the back door against Yannick, and it's 2-2.
Well, that's got to be God-given then, because he's just one of the very best submariners we've seen at the Major League level.
2-2, chopper left side, fielded on a backhand by Harrison. Jump throw is not going to get Yannick. And a one-out infield single puts the tying run on the base paths for the Doors.
I mean, again, another really good at-bat work there. It's a tough play for any shortstop. Kalai, at least with the jump throw, made it somewhat contested, but don't look now. I mean, the Commodores, that's 3 hits now compared to the one of Cotuit, and it was the one that went over the fence. The Doors are certainly getting theirs up there. The 2 base runners stranded in the 3rd inning. I mean, now, if you're going to go, you got to go. It's still a close game here, and the Commodores are working at bats.
Keelan squares to bunt third base line. Galaney's charging. He's not going to have a play. A bunt single for Gavin Keelan, and there's 2 aboard with 1 away.
Commodores play a little small ball. We've seen that a lot from Keelan, laying one down the line. Personally, I think just caught Ryan Galaney napping a little bit. Really, really good bunt. Kind of a delayed jump. Wasn't really even in on the grass like that. Gavin Keelan pulling out his wild card. We see him do it so often. And now you got 1 out with a really good bat and Nate Humphrey stepping in.
That was just perfect placement from Keelan. I don't know that Galaney would have had to play no matter where he was playing on that with that type of placement. That frisbee slider is outside to Humphreys to start off the at-bat.
Gavin told me at school this year that anytime there was a runner on, he would always, without even looking, always know that the bunt sign was on when he would step in.
Takes a big swing and a pitch low and comes up empty on that one in the dirt. It's a 1-1 count to Humphreys. Yannick is the catcher, but does have pretty good speed for that position. 10 stolen bags at Sam Houston State this season. Breaking ball fouled back. It's 1-2 to Humphreys. Got Spikerman on deck, switch hitter will move to the right side for the first time today if he comes up against Schlesinger. There's no one warming in the bullpen for Cotuit. Yannick dancing at second, and Schlesinger will go back and give him a look.
Zach, it may just be a pitch count kind of thing, but I mean, personally, Chris Kaler's outing was just really, really good. Just wondering maybe why, it could obviously seems like it's a pitch count thing. His pitches were not up there, but Schlesinger now has worked himself into a little bit of a spot here.
Doors trying to come through. The 1-2 missed inside to Humphreys, and now Schlesinger comes set at the belt. Couple of looks back to second. The 2-2. Pop foul out of play. Humphreys stays alive.
This is mimicking that same at bat. Humphreys won a line drive the other way out there by the 6-hole in the infield. You just got to see it. You got to see it, get on one, and he's seen a lot of them up there already now, working into pitch number 5 of the at-bat.
There are good arms in the outfield all around, but they're playing pretty deep against Humphreys. 2-2, swing and a miss. Comes up empty on the breaking ball. Schlesinger gets a much-needed punch-out. Still 2 aboard for the Doors, but 2 away.
That's massive. Really, again, good fight there by Nate Humphreys. They slow it down on him. He's not able to just barely get something on that to maybe stay alive or go the other way. It's so tough from that arm slot. You alluded to it earlier, Zach. Submariner left on left, probably the toughest matchup there is in baseball.
Here's John Spikerman from the right side. First 2 ABs from the left side for the switch hitter. And a pickoff attempt, and Yannick with some heads-up base running. He'll move up. It was a fastball up. Loma Vida came up throwing to try and get Yannick at second, and Yannick just took off for third.
Yeah, Caleb Loma Vida trying a back pick there 120 feet down the infield because Yannick was so far off the base in his secondary lead. He was almost trying to tempt that throw, and once Loma Vida jumped out of the crouch, he just booked it to third. Heads up base running at its finest.
1-0, a called strike. Slider that catches the inside corner to the righty, and Spikerman. Now it takes any element of those arms out of the equation here. A base hit from Spikerman will tie this game. 1-1 swinging out to right, and it hangs up for McCoy. A liner smoked by Spikerman, but the Doors strand a pair once again. We're halfway through this game, and Cotuit's solo shot. The lone thing on the board. It's 1-0 Kettleers. Head to the bottom of the 5th. Rio Britton back out for a 5th inning of work. He's worked around the 1 hit he's given up, but unfortunately for the Doors, it was of the long ball variety, and Cotuit with just that 1 hit, but a 1-run lead as the Doors stranded a pair in the 5th as well as in the 3rd. Around 3 1-2-3 innings in there as well from the Cotuit staff. Rio Britton trying to work another 1-2-3 frame here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch is a check swing and held up by Cannon Peebles. It's Peebles, Petray, and McCoy. Couple of switch hitters with a lefty sandwiched in between. 1-0 from Britton, misses below the knees, and it's 2-0 to Peebles. Both Peebles and Petre were called out on strikes in their first ABs against Britton. 5 strikeouts to this point for Rio Britton. Fires in a 2-0 fastball. Get himself back in the count. It's 2-1. Infield deep across the diamond. No real wind here at Lowell Park on a beautiful day. Blue skies. Not a cloud to be seen in Cotuit. 2-0 gets a swing and a miss. And he's worked from 2-0 now to 2-2.
Just pulled the string there, right over the top of the zone, trailing in the count. Don't see a lot of guys go to a ball there, an intentional one in the curveball. Really good decision and a good result.
2-2, bends the knees, and Fernbach goes up with that right hand. Peebles goes down swinging.
Well, just like that, I mean, don't look now, but Rio Britton has doubled his strikeout total in a given game so far for Falmouth. That's number 6 right there. He's pretty dialed. He's gone to the fastball and the breaking ball. Has kind of come back to a feel for that pitch right now, Zach. And, I mean, he's just rolling along here, again, with that one hit.
First pitch bounces into Petre. It's 1-0. Emilian Petre worked good battle against Britton last time up before being called out on strikes. Rio goes into the motion, the 1-0. Just misses outside with the fastball. Second straight hitter. The Britton has fallen behind 2-0, looking for a similar battle back here. Infield deep everywhere. Martin playing on the outfield grass in right field. 2-0 swinging. Petre sends it out to right. Humphreys is back on it. He'll make the catch. Front of the track out in right. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th.
Well, the 2-0 looked like Petre's eyes lit up there as he got that one over the middle and had the arc right out of the gate, but then good to see Humphreys camp underneath that one and make the play. And again, Rio Britton's just sailing along right now. Pitch count looks pretty good right now to this point. Pitch number 66 coming up here only through 4 2/3.
Fastball high and outside to start off. James McCoy, that fastball at 93, that's the fastest one we've seen yet from Britton today. All the way here at number 66, as you mentioned, Matt. 1-0. Went off speed, missed it on the outside edge. It's 2-0.
Yeah, Zach, we saw a handful of like 90, 91, but he's really got something moving there now with that pitch.
The 2-0. Swing and a miss. Drops it off the table, and it's 2-1.
I'd be really interested to see. I know Britton pitched in the Bourne game a couple of nights ago, but he could maybe go back out there for that 6th inning. I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
Misses inside. It's 3-1. Hunter Hodges is stretching in the bullpen, but is not throwing yet for Falmouth. The wind from Britton and the 3-1. Runs in, ball 4. The second walk issued by Britton. They've both been worked by James McCoy, and a 2-out base runner for Cotuit.
Yeah, that's a 3rd straight at bat. We saw a 2-0 count by Britton. Came back for the strikeout on Peebles. That time 2-0 swinging. We saw the fly out to Humphreys. Couldn't quite battle back here on that 3-1 pitch, but again, no harm if you're Britton. Only 3 base runners given up today through 4 2/3. That will work every time you step out there on the mound. The problem is, though, Tio Banks is a really good 9-hole hitter, and you don't want to extend this inning with 2 outs back up to the 1-2-3.
He was a strikeout victim in his first AB and tips a first pitch fastball into the glove of Yannick. It's 0-1. McGregor holding on. McCoy over at first. Fastball misses up on the 0-1. Yannick came up ready to fire down, but McCoy back in standing up. Banks steps out and gets the signs from Mike Roberts down at third. Now digs back into that right-handed batter's box. Britton steps off, wants to sign again, and he'll get it from Yannick. Staring down McCoy over at first base. Left leg kick, the 1-1. Pop foul out of play, and Britton back ahead now. It's 1-2.
Good pitch there. Fastball looked a little bit inside there. Banks just a little late on it. Setting yourself up here for that breaking pitch he's been going to down and in. Inside of the right-handed bat of Banks.
Deep breath on the rubber. Couple of looks to first. The 1-2. Chopped back to the mound. Britton. Fields loses the hat. Flips to McGregor in time for out number 3. A strong 5-inning start from Rio Britton. But the Doors offense needs to help him out. Go into the final 4 innings of this game. We're through 5 at Cotuit. Matt Venezia will have the play-by-play on the other side of the break right here on the Commodores Radio Network.
Welcome back to Lowell Park. Matt Venezia, Zach Serdenik, Destiny Sanchez, and many others here bringing it to you. The Commodores trailing by 1. Way back a long, long time ago in the first inning. A solo shot by Cole Mathis, the only bit of offense we've seen in this ball game, despite a couple of threats by the Commodores on the bases. As back out there again, it's Schlesinger, first pitch strike in there to Bazana. Travis working a hit in his last time up, 1 for 2 overall today. Slices this one the opposite way, foul, and quickly behind 0-2.
That's what you want to do if you're Bazana right now. Try and send something down that left field line. And if you can get it in there with his speed, he's going to be on second base almost assuredly. But just trying to find a way on base any way possible. The Doors' first threat came with 2 outs in the inning, and had it not been with 2 outs, they might have had a chance to score some runs. So you're trying to get on base earlier in innings if you're Falmouth.
We've heard some word. It appears that Rio Britton's day may be over. Hunter Hodges looks to be the next Commodore to take the hill. Breaking ball off the edge of the plate to the left-hander of Bazana. It's off the plate, 1-2. Bazana battling back in that average category right now. 8 of 35 to this point. The delivery is put away foul again. That was the fastball at 92 from Schlesinger. Again, coming with that sidearm submarine delivery facing first base there. The left-on-left matchup here to the Commodores' left fielder today. The full wind from Schlesinger, the 1-2. Bazana the other way. Will this one get down? No, it does not. It's foul. Slicing and giving chase was Banks out there and left. We'll do the 1-2 once again.
It's the same type of thing on that last swing that we were talking about. He's just trying to put it the other way, not trying to do too much with it, which is encouraging from what we've seen from Bazana. He's really wanting to just get himself going. He's so analytical and so driven in the box. You can see him analyzing every one of his swings during each at-bat. He's just trying to get a good barrel.
Do it again, as that one was the breaking ball, and it's sent again straight back to the screen. Bazana, a couple shakes of his head after he gets out of the box there.
Yeah, he's talking to himself every single swing. He's analyzing it and what he needs to do better.
They jag it up and down batting stance. The pitch here is chopped, this time along first baseline, but again foul. Travis Bazana, don't look now, but continues to work a pretty good at-bat here as we continue the 1-2.
I mean, anytime that you're going to see an 8th pitch in an at-bat and it's still only 1-2, you know that you're doing a good job as a hitter to stay alive, but you know the pitcher's locked in at firing strikes, and that's what's happening right now from Schlesinger.
Took the words right out of my mouth. The magic 8-ball pitch coming here for Schlesinger, who is still looking for the sign. Out of the full wind, the delivery left on left, the 1-2. And again, Travis Bazana getting his money's worth up there. For good reason, a all Pac-12 first-team member this year for the Beavers up there in Corvallis. Made the tournament team as well there in Scottsdale. The 1-2 pitch by Bazana. Chopped straight back to the screen, and we'll do it again. Pitch number 10 coming up.
It's what you love to see. If you can win a battle like this at the top of an inning, you're really getting yourself going and building that momentum towards trying to bring in a run. Doesn't matter how you get on base here, but if you're Bazzani, you need to end up on the base paths after this at bat if the Doors want to kind of build that momentum.
Pitch number 11 on the way. That one just barely off the plate. J.C. Fernandez says that one's off. Good take there by Bazana on that breaking ball away from the lefty, and we'll do the 2-2.
He knew it immediately.
Offering number 12 on the way. This one's taken right back up the middle. Playing, though, off of central is Matheson. He'll make the play. It's a line out to straightaway center, but a really good at-bat by Bazana is the first out of the sixth.
It is, and that hurts if you're Bazzana. You had a really good swing, you had a really good at-bat, and it still ends in and out. And we've seen that a lot from the Doors against Cotuit. Honestly, a lot from a lot of teams against Cotuit. Kettleers just always seem to be in the right place at the right time.
The numbers speak for themselves in this Cotuit team that, to the credit of Falmouth, has recently been working, as we talked about, the couple of threats throughout this ball game. They don't give up runs. They're first in the Cape League in the least amount of runs allowed in this pitching group. This one off the plate there, 1-1 to Kyle DeBarge. For what it's worth, as that pitch was number 12 that finally was the lineout. DeBarge worked a full count himself, so he saw a lot of pitches there in the on-deck circle. Let's see if he can time one up here. The 1-1 from Schlesinger. That's a breaking pitch. Actually was the fastball in the dirt at 94. Couldn't quite tell the breaking action there, but that's the hottest one we've seen from Schlesinger to this point. Hitter's count here to the third baseman of Falmouth in DeBarge. The 2-1 offering out of the wine. Lines this one foul, heads up, Commodores dugout. That one nearly took out the photographer standing right by the on-deck circle. Everyone looks okay, and that's the second strike of the AB.
That was definitely hot.
It wasn't our guy, Jack Moreland, over there. He's over here by the intern table behind us. DeBarge fouls this one off again over the stands here at Lowell Park. Really good set of grandstands here for, you look around at all the teams in the Cape League. Some have hills with fans bringing lawn chairs to watch these Cape League baseball games. Really big stands on both sides of the lines here. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. 93 low and away. DeBarge comes up empty. 2 gone here for Falmouth in the away part of the sixth.
DeBarge got out there, but we talk about the left-to-right splits against a guy like Schlesinger. Opponents from the right side this summer hitting 294 against Schlesinger compared to just 111 from the left side. He dominates those lefty-lefty matchups.
So now it's McGregor in that lefty-lefty matchup. Slowed him down to 81 there on the breaking, and he came up empty. Couple of ground ball outs for McGregor over to first base. He's put Mathis in his own workout routine here as we prepare for the 0-1. Breaking pitch, same spot. A little bit hotter, though, at 84. McGregor didn't swing, but it was there, 0-2.
Yeah, if that one's going to be located on that edge like that, it's going to be really tough for the Doors to hit Schlesinger, especially those lefties.
In a groove is Schlesinger, the pitch, and it's 94 fouled straight back by McGregor.
It's kind of what we talked about in that first at-bat with Bazzana, the momentum swinging towards Cotuit even after the good swing from Bazzana because he was retired, and Schlesinger feeling good about himself right now.
The 0-2 again, swing and a miss. Slowed him down, breaking pitch, outer half. Really good stuff from Schlesinger. He works another 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth inning here at Lowell Park. The Zeros need to keep rolling for Falmouth defensively to keep this thing right where it's at. It's 1-0 for the home team. We'll be right back. Maybe the best start we've seen from a starter for Falmouth's day is over. Rio Britton, 5 innings of one-hit baseball, just that solo shot with 2 gone in the first inning. Walked a batter, 2 actually, and struck out 6. It's a season high for Rio Britton, no doubt about it. And he turns the ball over here to Hunter Hodges, who takes him out.
Hunter Hodges out of TCU had himself a pretty good first appearance on the summer back a few games ago in the doors win over Chatham. But now back here and trying to get things going against Cotuit, pick up where Rio Britton left off. Had good numbers at TCU at 2.57 ERA for the Horned Frogs. Just 4 runs given up. Not a ton of high leverage stuff, but did pitch 2 1/3 scoreless innings in Omaha against Oral Roberts during the College World Series run for TCU, and now getting some more high leverage moments, this time for the Falmouth Commodores here at Cotuit.
Would expect that Mike Landry and Jeff Trundy want an inning or 2 out of Hodges. We'll see if another arm comes into this ball game, but you certainly have the table set and the expectations for that point in terms of what Rio Britton was able to offer, as it appears to be a hold situation here for Hodges, trying to keep this ball game close for his offense that, again, is out hitting the Kettleers 4-1. But just one ball put over the fence, and it was by Cotuit, and that's where we stand still as we get ready for the bottom of the 6th inning. Back up to the top of the order, Kalai Harrison will step in against Rio Britton, his collegiate teammate over there at NC State. A pair of fly ball outs to John Spikerman in straightaway center field. But now a different arm from the right side, though, benefiting Kalai in the box. Lays down a bunt first try, popped it foul along the third base line, tried to push it towards DeBarge, and that's a first strike.
DeBarge came sprinting in. He's really good over there, and if that ball, the way it came off the bat, if it did go fair, with how hot that one came off, I think DeBarge had that one. But Harrison does have good speed out of that left-handed batter's box.
16 of 48 is Harrison entering today's action. Add the 2 hitless at-bats for him to this point. Offered on a check swing on that one. Did not go, according to righty Firmbach down there at third. Really one of the only appeals we've seen in this ball game down there to third. Firmbach getting himself adjusted over there.
Yeah, Falmouth hasn't had too many half swings in this game, and there aren't many lefties in the order for Cotuit.
The 1-1 in the dirt from the big righty out of TCU, as you mentioned, partner. Makes it 2-1.
Hodges started his career at UNC Wilmington before transferring over to TCU. Had good numbers with the Seahawks as well.
Out of the stretch, the 2-1 spiked the fastball there and just got away from Walker Yannick behind the plate. 3-1 to the first batter Hodges sees today.
He spiked that one a few times already.
Hasn't had the best feel on that fastball to this point, with the first man he sees here being Kalai Harrison at the top of the order. Out of the full wind and a pitch, another spiker on the fastball. Can't quite get a feel for it. And it's a 5-pitch walk to Harrison. And a leadoff base runner, only the 4th we've seen today from the Kettleers. 1 on with nobody out.
Leadoff walks come back to hurt you more often than not in the game of baseball, and Hodges has his work cut out for him now, especially with the top of the order here.
Ryan Galaney out of Wofford will now bat with a base runner aboard. Has a good-looking opportunity here against Hodges, who, again, as we saw a couple of days ago, showing the bunt here, though, and taking it back. It was a ball upstairs. Hodges looking into Walker Yannick for the sign here as we get ready for this one. Galaney steps in there, rocks the bat over his right shoulder. A long pause and the lift of the leg in the pick. Shows the bunt. Again, the fastball. Cannot find it right now for a strike. We've only seen 7 pitches from Hodges, only 1 of them in there for a strike.
Yeah, it hasn't been particularly close either. Really just trying to find himself and settle back in. We know what he has and the stuff he has. Just has to settle himself down, take a deep breath, and fire a strike.
Hodges trying to get back in the count here. Lifts the leg, goes with the fastball, and this one's chopped along the third base line and foul. His TCU Horned Frogs took place in the Fayetteville Regional down there with Arkansas. Had a couple of appearances there. had 3 strikeouts in total in his outings of work. That was 3 1/3 innings pitched. Second lowest team ERA for the Frogs there in the Big 12. The 2-1 offering from Hodges slowed it down on the outer edge, and he gets the call from J.C. Fernandez, 2-2.
That's a really good pitch. You're struggling with the fastball. Yes, you just threw one on 2-0, but struggling with the fastball, go to the breaking ball, get yourself a strike, and now you're able to throw a couple different pitches in this 2-2 count.
Trying to minimize the potential threat here with Kalai Harrison standing on first base. Hodges comes set at the belt. Long look in and a lift of the leg. Drop the breaking ball. It misses low for a ball. Pretty good block there behind the plate by Yannick. Harrison, not enough room there, though, for him to take off. He remains at first with a full count coming up. You mentioned not wanting the free passes to lead off batters to bite you. Right now, Hodges one pitch away from potentially walking the first 2 men that he sees here in this 6th inning.
And that's worst case scenario as a pitcher and as a pitching coach, too.
Harrison was going on that one. It's fouled. Again, same spot, chopping it along the third base line. You do have speed over there in Kalai Harrison. So the Commodores obviously needing to take note of that. Harrison this year only swiped 4 bags at NC State. So you got to keep an eye on him over there. Again, we've seen him make some plays in the middle infield over the 2 and a couple of innings of the matchups we've seen between these two sides. Again, he goes. This one's on the ground to DeBarge. Backhand play, only has a first base throw. He goes across the diamond for the 5-3 fielder's choice. You won't catch Harrison there on the steal effort there in the full count. So he stands at second with 1 away.
That's why you send the runner. You send the runner to get yourself out of a double play. You have a guy in Galaney that does hit a lot of ground balls, and you're able to make sure that you keep yourself with a base runner in a spot like this. That insurance run means a whole lot to Cotuit.
So now Cole Mathis, the man of the conversation today, the only bit of offense coming off his barrel back in the 1st inning. Solo shot to deep left, spikes the breaking ball to him. I like the idea, just don't want to show him your hot stuff, even though he hasn't really located that as well. It's 1-0.
Just trying to find something he's comfortable with and fire strikes. You never want to see a spot where you throw more balls than strikes, and that's where Hodges is at right now.
Trying to come from behind again here. He's worked exclusively behind in the count. The 1-0 offering. This one's driven out into the gap and left. Getting there, out and left is Bazana, and he gets it in rather quickly. Had to leap to grab that one, too. That was not a routine fly ball. It was pieced pretty well, and a loud and long second out in the 6th.
Yeah, came off the bat hot, but Bazana quickly over to it. Got a good jump out there and left. Not a position he plays a ton, but got a quick jump and ran it down.
So Caleb Lomavita now has to find a way to work with that leadoff walk that now is at second with 2 away. With that speed in Harrison, there are some outfield arms in Falmouth here, but it will certainly be tough to stop this man, Kalai Harrison, from scoring. First pitch breaking ball, chopped to the right-handed bat of Lomavita. So for once now we see Hunter Hodges ahead in the count.
If the ball's hit hard to right field, I don't know that they send him on the arm of Nate Humphreys.
Hodges steps off the mound here. Will take a walk a little bit and adjust the baseball. Again, really good crowd here on this Wednesday night, July the 5th, here in the Cape League season. We'll have to resume the July 4th contest tomorrow at 6 o'clock. This one spiked in the dirt right through the 5-hole of Yannick, and it's a free 90 feet for Kalai Harrison, who now stands 90 feet away at third base.
Walker Yannick's been doing a good job today. That's the first wild pitch we've seen so far, but a team that throws more of them than any other team on the Cape, and it continues to bite the doors in big situations.
We will resume tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Gov. In the top of the 3rd inning, Falmouth up 2-0 with 1 away when we resume action from yesterday's rain-suspended affair on July the 4th. Breaking ball here, looking for the upper part of the zone. Can't find it. Makes it 2-1. Pretty good pitch there by Hodges. One of his better-looking breaking balls, but Lomavita left it up there on the top shelf. 2 outs. A ball anywhere at anyone would work here for Falmouth. This is a fastball driven out to right center. Giving chase is Spikerman. He's going to call off Humphreys and make the play himself in a pretty routine area of right center field. Despite the leadoff walk, Hunter Hodges works out of trouble, and another 0 put up. That's 5 straight defensively by Falmouth, but it's still 1-0 as the door is trying to find the equalizer as we come back here in the 7th on the Commodores Radio Network. Seventh inning, getting ready to go here at Lowell Park. Matt Venezia, Zach Serdenik, Destiny Sanchez, and a group of others here on the road with you to bring it to you on the Commodores Radio Network. It'll be Luke Heyman out of Florida to lead off for the Commodores here. Hitless in his 2 initial at-bats here as a Commodore, getting in today. If you're in tune with college baseball, you know Heyman and the Gators just were defeated rather abruptly in Omaha in Game 3 of the College World Series Finals. Tough outing for those Gators, falling 18-4 in that final game. My goodness.
It was brutal after scoring 24 runs the day before.
Not to sound biased, but both sides of my family very well known and run out there in Gainesville at the University of Florida. Thought I was going to be a Gator myself, fun fact.
Instead, you decided to go out west where it never rains?
That's true. Golf works out there.
That's fair.
As this one's a 3-1 pitch coming in. But hey, hanging out with Sparky out there, throwing the forks up for the Sun Devils as the 3-1 offering from Schlesinger misses low, and Heyman's going to get on for the first time today. It's a leadoff walk on 5 pitches.
You get Sparky out there, but Sparky can't beat Sparty in East Lansing, man.
I don't know about that.
Not many collegiate mascots can hang with Sparty.
If we're talking sports related, the last time those teams faced off, the Sun Devils won on a walk-off field goal in East Lansing, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. Jaden Daniels ran around for like an hour and a half on 4th down. That doesn't feel good.
As we get back to the action, Martin showed bunt, and a fastball ran in and got him right in the gut. As we get back to the commentary here, just wasn't expecting that. He's up and walking right now. Martin's a tough kid.
Yeah, that really does not feel good.
Doesn't seem like it got him in the rib cage area, in the bone, right in the gut maybe, or the hip. I'm not quite sure. He's walking to first base right now and appears to stay in this ball game. But trying to move Heyman over to second, he'll get there now walking because of that hit by pitch. And sometimes you got to put the body on the line, but that's not what you're expecting.
No, not at all.
And that one, you hate to see that, but he appears to be okay and will stay in this ball game. Right now, his helmet's in his right hand. Martin adjusting the dirt by the first base bag as there's a mound visit going on right now. Mike Roberts out there, the skipper, to go talk with his lefty here, who worked rather quickly in those previous innings. And now we see the sign to the bullpen will be made, and that will be the day for Schlesinger. We'll let you know who's coming in for the lefty. It is a right-hander. We'll have his numbers on the other side of the break here on the Commodores Radio Network. The right-hander to try to work out of the mess of 2 on. Nobody out for Falmouth. It's the right-hander for the Kettleers, Bryce Jenkins.
Bryce Jenkins has been pretty good for Cotuit so far. This is his 4th appearance, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. That's it on his line. Didn't have a ton of appearances at Tennessee this year in terms of innings, but had a lot of reps overall. He made 18 total appearances for the Volunteers, 16 innings pitched, 13 hits, 11 runs. That ERA up at 5.5. And the Doors just trying to play some small ball, move some runners, and at the very least bringing the tying run. Definitely feels like a big-time sacrifice situation here for Yannick. We'll see if they go to it here.
Yannick has the speed. We saw him on the bases earlier. He had a single in on the infield, but he moved all the way to third on that stolen base. He is showing bunt here. Pulls it back on this slider, low and away on this right-on-right matchup. Appearance number 4 for Bryce Jenkins out of the pen. 4 2/3 innings so far. 5 strikeouts against 1 walk. Had himself a good little outing over an inning and a third against YD last time in a 6-2 win for the Kettleers. The 1-0 against Yannick showing bunt again. Pulls it back as that's a fastball on the outer third for a strike.
A little annoyed with himself there after pulling back on that, but both guys on the corners are playing well in, and Mathis is charging hard over at first base. So Petre's going to have to move from second base to get and cover first base on a bunt.
He is showing it again. This time he gets it down. Charging at third. Going the easy way is Galaney across the diamond. A 5-3 on the putout. Everyone moves up. So with 1 away, third and second, Gavin Keelan will step in. And again, we saw what he did last time with that bunt single. Do you maybe try a squeeze here, Zach?
It's risky with Heyman at third. He's big and moves well for his size, but when you've got a guy that's a catcher down at third base, I don't know that you try the squeeze. I think you're trying to hit something into the outfield or through the infield in a spot where the infield's in like it is right now for Cotuit.
Ryan Galaney is about 4 or 5 steps in on the grass. I'd say about 10 feet off the bag at third base. Obviously a shift on here, even with the infield in on the grass, and Cotuit favoring the pull side of the right side of the infield for Gavin Keelan. He came up empty on that swing, and 0-1.
Biggest thing is it has to be a productive out if you get out here.
Third and second, the pitch here. Hung on Gavin Keelan. He gives it a ride out to right. Camping underneath it is McCoy. Backpedaling to adjust. Plenty of time for Yannick to come in. The throw goes to second, and the job is done. As just like that, Heyman comes in to score, and the Commodores have equalized this ball game at 1 in the 7th.
Productive outs. Good baseball. That's exactly what you do. You get 2 on with nobody out. Sack bunt, sack fly. Just like that, we're even. And a chance here if Humphreys can come through to take the lead in this game, and then all of a sudden the script flips and you're 9 outs away from a win.
I apologize. That was Luke Heyman who came in on the score there. Apologies there, as now the scenario is Christian Martin standing on third with Nate Humphreys taking that breaking ball up and away for a ball. As you mentioned, a base hit here would give Falmouth the lead. The delivery on the 1-0 drops a slider in there to Humphreys for a strike. Base hit back in the third. Struck out swinging last time up. Massive spot for the Commodores here. Trying to take the lead on the division leader here in the West. Fastball inside 95 from Jenkins. That's the hottest it's been today. He sends it straight back, makes it 1-2.
And a win today would be massive, not only for today, but going into tomorrow where you're already start with a 2-0 lead. You win today, you finish that one off, all of a sudden, that's back-to-back wins over the Kettleers.
The 1-2 from Jenkins. Drops a breaking ball just off the outer half of the plate. Really good take from Humphreys. As you mentioned, Zach, to this point right now, the Commodores just 2 points behind Wareham there for that 4th spot in the division. Falmouth 7-11-2 to this point. As we officially play game number 20 today, even though that should have been yesterday, this one's ripped down the first base line and just foul by Humphreys. He thought he had a double down the line, which would have given Falmouth the lead.
It was tight. But obviously, Rudy Fernback has the best view of anybody in the ballpark standing on that foul line on the first base side.
Jenkins, big deep breath there on the mound. Works out of the full wind, the 2-2 pitch. Fastball driven to deep left center field by Humphreys. Matheson at the wall will make the play. Right on the warning track, it barely stays in the yard, but not before the Commodores tie this ball game up on a sacrifice fly by Gavin Keelan. Only a couple of feet, but this one remains 1-1. It's time to stretch. The doors are on the board. We'll be right back. All stretched and ready to go here. The 5-man in the order, Carter Matheson, who just made that long put out there to end the Falmouth 7th inning. He'll lead it off here, trying to do some of the same himself here. 0-2 to this point, a pop-up to DeBarge at third, and then a swinging strikeout. Actually was looking in that one, but he leads off here against Hunter Hodges. First time he sees him today. First pitch drops a breaking ball at 79 on the outer half for a strike. And for a guy like Hodges, struggled with the fastball in the previous inning, starts him off with a breaking ball. Goes to the fastball here. That one's low and away. Just trying to find a comfort spot with that pitch. Mathis is from the left side. Not much of a bat movement there from the stance. Slow chopper. That's going to get through. Over by first base. It looked like McGregor maybe had a play on it, but then just ran to the bag. That one gets through for a leadoff base hit.
Good piece of hitting from Matheson. Find a pitch you can hit, and doesn't matter how hard you hit it. If you find some outfield grass, you find some outfield grass, and that's exactly what he did.
The designated hitter, Cannon Peebles, led the Wolfpack in average this year, as well as slugging percentage and a on-base percentage of .456. Although that has been put in check today as he shows bunt here, tries to push it down the third base line. Goes foul. 0-2 today with a pair of strikeouts, one of them looking and the other one a hack and an empty opportunity last time up in the fifth. Both of those against Rio Britton, who again, if you're just tuning in, had the best outing we've seen from a starter to this point. 5 innings of one-hit baseball, just that solo shot way back in the first inning. Struck out 6 and only walked 2 of these Kettleers, who now have a tie ball game on their hand here. Again, showing bunt is Peebles. Pulls it back as the fastball is up and away at 88, makes it 1-1.
Nothing hurt with that leadoff base runner. Just like last inning, you got to find a way to get around it.
Hodges looking intimidating there on the mound, looking for the sign. He comes set at the waist. Again, showing bunt early, now pulling it back. Big cut and a miss there at the curveball, diving low and in to the lefty and Peebles, and it's 1-2.
Really good pitch. I mean, you see a guy squaring a bunt. It's tough to bunt a breaking ball, and did a nice job to get him to swing at it when he pulled it back early.
Hunter Hodges looking for his first strikeout. Peebles, even with 2 strikes, showing the bunt there. This one gets away. It's a spiked fastball in the dirt. Free 90 feet once again given up. There's been a couple of those wild pitches that have bit the Sun Devils. Excuse me, not the Sun Devils, the Commodores today. But you talked about it. That's one stat that's really hurt this pitching staff.
It has. It's been in big moments, and this is a really big one right here.
Well, now the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Standing there is Matheson. Hodges looks back to second, now steps into the motion. Breaking ball in the front door there. And somehow it missed. It looked pretty good from here.
It's a big 3-2 pitch here.
Hasn't had a good feel for the fastball still. It's been that curveball that he's used the most and the best to this point. Hodges comes set, looking back to second, eyeing Matheson. Now the pitch, checking his swing. Did he go?
Wow.
Yes, he did. Home plate umpire J.C. Fernandez making the call himself. And Cannon Peebles walking back, having something to say there. A massive strikeout picked up for the first out of the inning. I don't know about that one, Zach. I see your face right now. I don't think you're a believer.
That was, obviously we have a really bad angle of that from here. That was a really quick call from the home plate umpire there with no assistance. But I think that might do it for Hodges.
Emilian Petre is the man coming up, and Mike Landry wants to get a different matchup here. He made the sign to the bullpen, waiting to see who'll be jogging out, but it appears Hunter Hodges' day is over. That inning and 2/3, picked up a strikeout there. And whoever the arm is called upon, as we're still waiting to see who it will be, has a massive spot with one away, a runner on second. And we will step away and let you know who it is coming back on the other side of the break. And it appears it is Parker Coyle.
I believe it's Sam Highfill, 28.
And it is Sam Highfill. So Highfill will take his warm-ups. We'll let you know all of his numbers on the other side here on the Commodores Radio Network. It's another NC State Wolfpack pitcher to the mound. Sam Highfill will take the bump for the Commodores, trying to strand the runner at second as he steps in a big spot here for Falmouth.
You know, you've earned the trust of your coaching staff when they put you in a situation like this, and that's exactly where he's at right now. Highfill entering to face 7 8s and hopefully not 9 for him in this inning, but he's got to strand that runner at second base. A tie game, you just fought back to tie it in the top half of this inning. You cannot allow a run here in the bottom half.
That was just the second hit of this game for Cotuit with that leadoff knock by Matheson into right field. First pitch, breaking ball, popped a mile into the air into relatively deep center field. Spikerman makes the play. A throw into the cutoff. Keelan will keep Matheson at second. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. One pitch, one out, and now you're one out away from stranding Matheson at second.
Can't start this spot any better than that if you're Sam Highfill.
Emilian Petre moves to 0 for 3 on the day. Now it's James McCoy. Right now, the only Kettleer who has not been retired, and that's because he doesn't have an official at-bat. 2 trips to the plate, 2 free passes.
Yeah, both walks issued by Britton were to McCoy, who Just worked good battles, but really didn't have anything close either.
Highfield looks for the slider on the first pitch. It's chopped and sent straight back.
We didn't see that aggressiveness from McCoy in either of his two at-bats against Britton. He was content to take his walk. This time, coming out swinging. He knows he's going to need more than a walk to come through here for the Kettleers.
29 hits this year in only 37 games for the Wildcats in the SEC. Look to second by Highfield. The pitch, same result. Swing and a miss on that low slider. And Sam Highfield has thrown 3 pitches, all of them strikes, gotten out on one of them, and now he's one more pitch away from getting out of the jam.
And he can go a lot of places here. He can go to the breaking ball back foot. He can also try and elevate a fastball up above the letter, see if McCoy will chase it.
Massive spot for Falmouth. The pitch on the way, same pitch, and it's the same result. Strike 3 swinging on 3 offerings, sending him back to the dugout. The Commodores hang a 0 there defensively as we head on to the 8th. It's still 1-1 here at Lowell Park with Falmouth trying to keep it moving as we move on to the 8th here on the Commodores Radio Network. One to one here as we get ready for the 8th inning. We know the score at Lowell Park, but Destiny Sanchez will update us on the scores around the Cape League.
Thanks, Matt. The YD Red Sox lead the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th. The Wareham Gate Men are ahead of the Bourne Braves 1-0 at the top of the 3rd. The Brewster Whitecaps and the Harwich Mariners are scoreless at the bottom of the 2nd. And the Orleans Firebirds and the Chatham Anglers are in pregame.
Thank you, Destiny. The new pitcher on the mound is a lefty for the Kettleers out of Cal State San Diego. It's Isaac Martinez.
Isaac Martinez coming into this one in a tough spot, but in a tie ball game with a fresh inning and trying to get his stuff moving. The Tritons this year, such an interesting story out at UC San Diego. They won the Big West, but were unable to get the automatic bid due to the transfer rules between divisions. And this is the 4th appearance for Martinez on the summer. 4 innings pitched so far, 5 hits, a couple of runs allowed off of him. But he was 6-1 for UC San Diego in 24 appearances with an ERA at 2.84, 63 strikeouts to just 16 walks for the Tritons.
Really good numbers to take on the leadoff man here for Falmouth. It's John Spikerman who will lead us off here in the top of the 8th. A 1-1 ball game. Offense and production at the plate has been very scarce in this game. John showing bunt, pulls it back as this one misses up and in. 86 is the first pitch from Martinez here in the 8th.
And the one inning that the Doors got to run across in, they didn't have a hit. It was a walk, a hit batter, sack bunt, sack fly.
Martinez, a high leg kick there on the delivery. That one's in there, though. The fastball at 86, 1-1. 1-4-0 the line of Falmouth, and 1-2-0 is the line of Cotuit here in this one-a-side matchup in the 8th. Spikerman went up the ladder for this one. It might be in play in foul territory. It is. Calling for it is the first baseman, Mathis, right in front of the first base dugout of Falmouth. And he makes the catch with his hat flying off in the process, 1 away.
Good, clean baseball overall from both sides to this point, and I like what I saw there from Spikerman. He's frustrated that he popped out, but instead of going to the dugout right away, he goes, turns to Bazana, and has a little quick conversation with him about what he just saw from the new arm.
Well, certainly we knew the pitching from Cotuit would offer some of the same that we're seeing here today, as the offering from Martinez, chopped foul to Bazana. But for Falmouth, this is a pitching staff that's allowed the most hits on the Cape. the second most average against at 270, and the third most runs driven in. But against a team like this is a great effort. Probably the best effort we've seen in total so far here this summer.
Yeah, I mean, it's right up there with the shutout against Brewster, where the Doors pitching staff, a few different times away from Gov Fuller Field, has just turned it on.
Now Bazzana, the 0-1, watches that slider at 76 bend away from him in the dirt. Keeping it in front of him is Caleb Loma Vida. The backstop here today amongst the different pitchers. We've seen 4 now for Mike Roberts and the Kettleers. Breaking ball again in the dirt, same spot. The block effort ricocheted towards the on-deck circle of Falmouth. Kyle DeBarge grabbing that souvenir. 2-1, a hitter's count now to the native of Australia in the box here for the Commodores. Martinez, full wind, high leg kick. This pitch, a fastball at 87, low and away, got the zone, and it's 2-2.
Saw Bazzana work that really long battle in his last at-bat and had a really good swing to end it. We'll see if he can keep those good swings moving here in this one.
The 2-2. Sent straight back again. That was the heater. Doesn't come all that hot, but with that funky delivery and release, it's tough to pick up.
It is, and you have to kind of adjust yourself to it with a new arm. But for these guys, they just saw Schlesinger, and now they get to see Martinez here.
Breaking ball, bends in there. It's a backwards K to Bazzana, and he doesn't say a word and walks right back to the dugout. You don't want to go down looking there at this point of the ball game. 2 up, 2 down here for Falmouth in the 8th.
Good handle on the zone most of the time. Did not like that pitch at all, but at the end of the day, there's nothing he can do about it. He'll take it.
So now it's Kyle DeBarge, been in that 3-hole pretty much every day aside from the off day he had a few days back. He watches this fastball up, and it stays there. DeBarge, a Raging Cajun, as we've talked about here pretty consistently. Been playing some big-time moments for the Commodores to this point in the year. Rightfully so, with his numbers he had at Louisiana. This fastball, low and away, in there for a strike.
It was a warm day out here in Cotuit. I asked him before the game if it was starting to feel a little more like home in Louisiana. He said, yeah, no. He said it's really hot down there, obviously, but
he swings at this 1-1, driven out to deep left center field. Giving chase is Matheson. He'll make the play right in front of the wall. All that speed closing down the gap, robbing another Commodore of extra bases. Falmouth doesn't go all that quietly, although it is another 1-2-3. The pitching going to have to show up here in the bottom of the 8th, trying to keep it tied at 1. We'll be right back. Sam Highfill adjusting the mound there with his right foot as he continues his warm-up tosses here. Falmouth again, out hitting Cotuit here 4-2. The Kettleers, besides that home run, have a base hit that barely got through into right. Not much of a threat at all aside from those walks that set up the spot that Highfill got out of the jam in. Meanwhile, the Commodores have been robbed of a couple extra base hits by Carter Matheson in straightaway center.
He's been outstanding. DeBarge hit that one on the screws in the last at-bat. Out into that gap in left center field, and Matheson just on the run, ran into the wall, but didn't matter, came up with the ball.
A pinch hitter steps in now for Cotuit in place of T.O. Banks in the 9-hole.
Gonna get our first look at Brock Wills.
And Brock Wills, he was in the lineup, and probably will be going into tomorrow's game because of the suspension of the weather that's moved us to play tomorrow. Watch the breaking ball in there for a strike.
And he's listed as an infielder out of UNC Wilmington, but he was in the lineup in left field yesterday. I would assume he's going to stay in the game here for Banks in left.
This pitch here, fastball stayed upstairs. It's 1-1.
It's a good pitch from Highfill. Not too much that you can do with that pitch if you're not looking for it.
Will struck out in his only appearance yesterday as he chops this one here right to the pitcher Highfill, and that's a 1-3 putout. Good start to the inning for Falmouth, one away.
Can't ask for a better one.
The lineup card flips to Kalai Harrison, who reached for the first time and only time today in his last appearance in the 6th inning. Was one of the walks we saw given up by Hunter Hodges. But more consistency here on the mound since Sam Highfill's come in, and rightfully so. Led the Wolfpack in victories as pitchers with 6. Was 6-4 on the year this year. 22 appearances, though, on the year there in the ACC. First pitch here misses away for a ball.
He's consistently pounded the zone when he's been out here, and that's what you're really asking for out of him.
Highfill full wind, got him to go after a breaking ball in the dirt. That was not particularly close, but a big cut and miss by Kalai Harrison evens up the count at 1.
That's satisfying as a pitcher. Anytime you can get a swing like that, but especially when it's a guy you know and a guy that's your collegiate teammate, you feel really good about it.
You're not supposed to say it on the broadcast, but we're approaching the 9th inning, and we are smooth sailing here. 2 hours right on the dot from our broadcast. And we continue to smooth sail. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike. If we're being technical, it was 4:58 when we started.
2 hours and 2 minutes.
2 hours and 2 minutes as we're now at the 7 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. We're glad you could tune in and hang out with us here. The 1-2 offering, breaking ball on the ground. That's going to get through a diving reach of Kyle DeBarge. Only the 3rd hit for the Kettleers, and Kalai Harrison has reached in back-to-back tries.
Similar to last inning, nothing hurting this spot. Just try to find your way out of the inning and keep it in this spot that you're in. You want it to be 1-1 going to the 9th. Give your offense a chance here because at the very least you want a point on the road at Lowell Park.
Now it's Ryan Galaney, hitless in 3 tries. Couple of fielders' choices to this point. But he steps in with 1 away. The base runner, Harrison, stands on first. He drives this one on a rope down the left field line. It'll go all the way to the wall. Getting there is Bazana, rounding second and into third. They're going to hold him up there at third. It's a 1-out double. And just like that, the go-ahead run stands at third base in the form of Kalai Harrison, and it's a double, setting up Cotuit here in the 8th.
Now you're in some trouble. Going to have to find a way out of this. And it's going to be, you need a non-productive out from Cole Mathis.
Tough guy to have to get it against, as you mentioned. Cole Mathis steps in now, 3rd and 2nd, 1 away. Mathis, the only bit of offense for Cotuit on the big board, but now back-to-back hits have presented Cotuit with a golden opportunity here against Highfill, who, to his credit, has been throwing a lot of strikes, but now we're seeing them being put in play. Big spot here for the Commodores. Infield all in on the grass. First pitch swinging, redirected off of Yannick. And that one got him high on the chest protector. Every time we have a ball game with Yannick behind the plate, he is just getting his body beat up back there. And I got to say, I know the feeling. It's not fun back there when the redirects go off of the padding. It's not a lot of padding there on the chest protector. It's very thin. And a nice gesture by J.C. Fernandez, personally handing the ball to Highfill and now adjusting the home plate area, giving Yannick all the time in the world to gather himself back there and hopefully let that pain wear off just a little bit. But nonetheless, 0-1 here to Mathis. Highfill out of the stretch now with 3rd and 2nd here. The pitch showing bunt, pulling it back as that was a breaking ball missing upstairs. It's 1-1.
Squeeze play with the infield in is something that's not the easiest to execute. I wonder whether, had that pitch been a strike, he actually would have attempted to get that down or not.
No one really shifting either side. Every bit of the infield in on the grass in normal depth, just in a lot. The 1-1 pitch, showing the button and pulling it back. This one's popped up on the infield. That is certainly the outcome as Martin makes his way over, and he'll make the play just to the right of his natural first base side over there. He'll make the play there, sort of where McGregor would have routinely played it, but Martin calls him off a massive second out.
That is the unproductive out that you needed, but these are the power-on-power matchups you look for in these games. Go-ahead run at third base. Bottom of the 8th inning, cleanup man at the plate, power arm on the mound.
Out of Cal Berkeley, Caleb Lomavita steps in. Now he's going to have to get something through to bring in that run, standing in Kalai Harrison at third base. Massive spot for the Commodores here. Trying to get out of the jam. Breaking ball. This one off the handle of the baseball bat. That'll be a foul ball. Maybe not how you drew it up, but it looks the same in the scorecard. It's 0-1.
They say throw the knob of the bat at the ball, but I don't think that's the intention there.
Well said, partner. Lomavita in there now 0 for 3 on the day. Pair of ground ball outs and a fly ball to Spikerman in straightaway center. Either of those outcomes would work here. Fastball right down the heart of the plate at 92 for a strike, and it's 0-2. Falmouth trying to tightrope out of this jam right now. 1 run aside, 4 hits aside. With this game right now coming down to the wire between these two teams in the West Division. Highfill lifts his leg and fires a breaking ball, chopped right back over the middle. A tough play for Martin. He's going to try to make the play. He cannot. He eats it up himself. It's an infield hit, and the Kettleers have taken the lead.
That's baseball. There's nothing you can do about it. If you hit in the right spot, find a way.
It is 2-1 for Cotuit, and it's not over just yet. Ryan Galaney now at third with that one-out double. Lomavita gets credit with the RBI on that base hit that Martin just could not get out. That's a tough, tough play. And now Mike Landry will make the walk out to the mound. You executed well in getting the ground ball, but right over the head of a leaping Sam Highfill in no man's land there. And it's now 2-1 for the home team.
Nothing more you can ask, nothing more you can do. Just, at the end of the day, as you said, Matt, you executed.
The Falmouth Commodores right now trying to climb back in this West Division as tomorrow, I believe, marks our halfway point of the season.
Yes, it does.
And this game stands in firm positioning right now with Cotuit on top 2-1. There is a move to the bullpen. We'll find out who the arm is on the other side of the break with the Kettleers getting an infield base hit to take the lead here in the 8th. We will be right back. Evan O'Toole out of Oklahoma State will take the mound. Saw him a couple nights ago in the Wareham game, but he's going to step in here trying to strand the 2 base runners with already one across here by Cotuit.
Well, it was 6 up, 6 down in his Commodores debut. It gave up some hard contact, but it was right at a couple of outfielders, mainly John Spikerman, who got the heat of it. But he got the win in that game. He was 1-0, 2 innings pitched in that 6 up, 6 down, couple of punch outs. He was good at Oklahoma State as well. 6-1 record for the Cowboys this season. ERA up around 5, but did a nice job to keep his team in games as that middle relief type option.
Despite that, he didn't give up any walks. 4th lowest amongst eligible pitchers there in Stillwater. Had some experience out there in the Stillwater Regional. Got hit around a little bit, though, in his lone appearance. Played some junior college as well at Iowa Western. But as you mentioned, that ERA just under 5. 28 over 15 in the strikeouts to walks ratio. You would like the top part of that fraction here if you're Falmouth. A strikeout would certainly work. But a tough bat stands in, and Carter Matheson had a base hit. And at the time, in the 7th inning, that was only the 2nd hit of the inning, or of the ball game for Cotuit. Since then now, 3 more, and a massive spot presented for the Kettleers trying to get some needed insurance, standing 90 feet away in the form of Ryan Galaney. First pitch there from O'Toole, missed low and in on the breaking ball. Evan out of the stretch. Up the middle, a base hit. Got a breaking ball, put it right back where it came. It's 3-1 Cotuit.
Just a pitch right over the heart of the plate that Matheson wasn't going to miss.
Put it right where any barrel could find it, not the result the Doors were looking for here in making the bullpen move. Galaney in to score easily, and the threat continues now for Cotuit. 4 of the 6 batters presented here in the inning have reached. 2 of them have come in to score, making it now the score you see, 3-1 in favor of the team who stands at the top of the Cape League and this West Division. O'Toole looked to second, where he looks at Caleb Lomavita. Now this one, chopped on the ground. Martin makes a play at second. Nearly pulled McGregor off the bag, but he kept his foot on. And that will retire the side, but not before 2 Kettleers come across the bases. A save situation looming in the top of the 9th for Cotuit, with Falmouth needing at least 2 to keep this thing moving along. We'll be right back to see those bats of the Commodores with the game on the line. Isaac Martinez will be out there now. He's the pitcher of record in line for the win. So since a move has not been made just yet, technically not a save spot, but it is a left-on-left with McGregor leading off the 9th for Falmouth, with a right-hander and Heyman due up. So this could just be for that left-on-left before going to an arm as he goes with the breaking ball, missed it away to McGregor. McGregor 0 for 3 today. We're so accustomed to seeing him get some base hits in every game that he's played in for Falmouth. He drives this one out to deep right. Couple of looks, and they'll watch it go into the trees. McGregor pulls the Commodores to within 1, and the lead has been cut in half.
That's the way you start the inning. It's a big swing. They say you need a bloop and a blast. Well, you can start with a blast as long as you can get another one.
So that changes things, and not wanting to waste any more time, Mike Roberts will head out to grab his lefty, and they will go to a right-hander. This game has just shifted out of nowhere. Still nobody out. The Commodores need a run. They just got one. We'll see if it continues on the other side of the break. Well, after that McGregor solo shot in the ninth to make this thing a lot more interesting, it is a save situation for Jacob Schaefer.
Just getting ready to see what he can do. He's got good numbers for Cotuit, and who appearances. He's been more of a long relief guy. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs though, 4 strikeouts to 1 walk. He did have some trouble with walks at UNC Wilmington. 55 strikeouts to 31 walks, but he was mainly a starter for the Seahawks. 16 appearances, all of them starts.
Good enough to win second team all-conference this past season. Good numbers there, as we mentioned. The 55 strikeouts. A lot of walks, though, 31, and 24 extra base hits allowed. So a high number there in the category of 2-baggers or more. But he's going to come in here, again, brand new in this inning. It's Luke Heyman, Martin, and Walker Yannick due up for the Commodores here, who, again, we just began the 9th inning, and McGregor put one into deep right center field. And now we are ready to go. I mean, let's do this thing. That's what that sounds like to me. McGregor keeping the Commodores in this thing, responding to that 2-run 8th inning with at least one here as Falmouth. And it's Luke Heyman, the Florida Gator, in his first game as a Commodore, has a massive spot here to try to keep this thing alive. Out of the full wind, Schaefer drops a big bender there at 80, middle high in there for a strike.
Heyman took a deep breath on that one after that pitch. That was a very hittable breaking ball.
Schaefer brings the glove up to his face here, the full wind and the offering. Breaking ball there. Swing and a miss. Check that. It was actually a cutter at 92. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, at 6'8", that looks like a lot harder than 92 as well, because he's throwing so downhill, it kind of looks like he's on top of you already.
Drops a breaking ball, cut and miss. Schaefer makes quick work of Heyman. That's his 3rd strikeout in his debut and the first out of the inning. So with one away, the task gets a little bit tougher with Christian Martin stepping in. 0 for 2 today, reached on his last try because he took a fastball to the gut. Not what you want to see as he was trying to lay down a bunt. Got stranded at third base in that effort. First pitch, fastball 93 in there for a strike. It is jumping out of the right hand of Schaefer right now.
And this is why you can't fall behind in games late to a team like Cotuit. It's so tough when you do because the back end of the bullpen is elite.
Breaking ball, this one has to make Martin dance out of the way here inside of the lefty at 85, 1-1. Christian Martin leads the team in RBIs. You'd love to see one here to get this thing tied up. Schaefer has other ideas. The full wind and the pitch. That's a fastball down low. Hitters count now for Martin out of Virginia Tech.
They're separated in the order now, but you'd love to see that 1-2 punch with Keelan and Martin kind of connect again today. Keelan's the guy that would come up if anybody's able to reach.
Yannick's the man that sandwiches the two of those guys for Falmouth. He's on deck. The 2-1 offering, that one's right there on the outer half. It's another fastball. That pitch has worked for Schaefer, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Tyler McGregor making things very interesting to lead off the 9th with a solo shot. The move for the save situation has Schaefer at a 2-2 count. Drop the breaking ball. That one out into shallow left center. It's a base hit. Good job by Martin to stay with that breaking ball, taking it the other way. And with one away, the Commodores have the tying run on board.
Falmouth's been in this situation so many times this season where they're down a run, they get a man on, they have a chance to get it done, but can they come through in this 9th inning?
So now the opportunity is extended to Walker Yannick. Wouldn't have been up if it weren't for the solo shot by McGregor. Now Gavin Keelan can get himself adjusted in the on-deck circle. Yannick 1 for 3 today. Watches this slider go away from him in this right-on-right matchup. It's 1-0.
Yannick's got to look to jump on a fastball here in this 1-0 count. He's got a really good bat. If he gets some to hit, Schaefer's probably going to fire one in pretty firm. See if he can unload on it.
A look to first and Martin. A lift to the leg and the pitch. Fastball got him on the jersey. Back-to-back base runners for Falmouth move Christian Martin, the tying run, into scoring position on the hit by pitch.
It's not exactly what I meant by jump on a fastball. He kind of tried to jump out of the way of the fastball, understandably, but it still got him.
So now, the hottest bat in this Commodore lineup, Gavin Keelan, will get that opportunity you were alluding to. A base hit with all that speed in Martin would make this a popcorn activity at the plate with all that speed. We'll see what comes of it. Schaefer, a couple looks to second, the first pitch. Breaking ball on the ground. It's routine. 4-6. The 3. Double play ends the ball game. The Commodores got the tying run all the way to second base. And that one will end it with the Kettleers winning it 3-2.
Just another situation that the Doors gave themselves a chance at the end, but couldn't come through.
This ball game ends at 7:19 p.m. here at Lowell Park, just as the sun is starting to move its way into setting position. But a very tough loss despite the effort by Falmouth to come back. And the Kettleers, for now, have taken the first two matchups from Falmouth, but these two teams will do it again tomorrow. In a resumed action of this July 4th rained-out game, Falmouth will be on top 2-0 when we start at 6 o'clock. So that's working for Falmouth. But again, the gutsy effort to come back and fight falls short by 180 feet.
Really good job to fight from the Doors and keep themselves in it, but some really good stuff from Cotuit. That bullpen, so good.
The bullpen nearly gave in there, though. The Commodores trailing by 2 in the ninth. Got 3 base runners to reach. But again, the effort falls short. The Kettleers improved to 15-6, running away right now with this division, separating themselves now up to 30 points up there at the very tippy top. Meanwhile, Falmouth falling to 7-12-2, still looking up down there in that 5th position. But a chance with the lead going into tomorrow's action, taking on these same Kettleers. That's all we have for you here at Lowell Park. The home team Kettleers make it interesting, but hang on to win it 3-2. For everyone here helping out on social media and graphics behind the scene. For Destiny Sanchez, our reporter, Zach Serdenik on play-by-play with me. I've been Matt Venezia saying so long from Lowell Park. We'll see you tomorrow at the Gov when these two teams resume. A 2-0 game that started yesterday and a massive one needed for Falmouth. We will see you at the Gov tomorrow evening.